What's up, guys? Welcome to a windier than expected episode. Sorry, there's like a car coming towards me, which is random, considering how far in the middle of nowhere we are. It's also Easter weekend, so it's like super busy out here. So what are we doing out here? Well, it's full moon, and the full moon is coming up right over there. There's some really cool mountain stuff, and I want to shoot it. A couple of other things that I want to try. I want to play around with a new light that I got. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but let's get the car reconfigured, get turned around, and probably potentially make some tea, and then check out the moon status. As soon as we hit record, the wind picks up, of course. So it is a couple minutes before full moonrise. I'm at 100 millimeters. So, all right, let me find my bearings here. The moon is gonna come up. All right, check this out. The moon is coming up right over that ridge. Right there in the center. I want to get those cliffs in the shot too. I think that'll be really pretty. What I'm worried about, I'm gonna have to do a pano because I did not bring my 70 to 200, so I could shoot at 70, and 100 is a little bit tight because we're really close to the moon. So I'm not worried about getting like right up on the moon's grill because I want the landscape. So similar to the last shot I did, the last full moon shot I did was similar, and I had a similar problem. That came out pretty good, but I'm even closer to the moon, apparently closer to the moon than I was in the last shot. All right, so now we're just gonna wait till the moon comes up. This is how we wait for moonrise. Starting to get a little cool out here, but it's not bad. We have like literally just a couple more minutes. Last night would have been perfect. Usually, here's another tip, and I've mentioned this before, but usually I like to film, usually I like to photograph the full moon with a landscape and stuff the night before full moon rise. So 99% full moon rise, because usually that's when it comes up like right before blue hour, and you've got just that perfect bit of sunlight left. Like right now it's going to be a little dark, and it's definitely doable. It just requires more post-production work and more editing, which I'm fine with, but I like shooting the night before the full moon rise. But last night we were going to come out here and do this last night, but it was like super cloudy, and then it said it was going to be cloudy today, and 0 clouds. All right, well, it's go time. So there is the moon coming up. It's not coming up exactly in the spot that I wanted it to, or that I was told. Yeah. All right, well, that may or may not have worked out. So if I get anything from that image, I will show you guys. Got my tea, my chair, got my fire. Finally, the wind has died down. So let's talk about fire, because this is not a fire because it's too windy. And some jackass did light a fire in there, and they didn't put it out. We just discovered that. So this is my Lume Cube panel, the new panel I wanted to talk about, the Panel Go RGB. and I just covered it in soot. So there are a lot of fires in New Mexico right now, and it's not even summertime. And some of my favorite places are burning down, and houses and homes being evacuated. What I'm trying to say is, like, it's dry out here in the Southwest, and it's April, and there's already massive burning. So I will not be lighting any fires at all this summer, and if I do, it'll be like a propane controlled. But I am not doing anything with embers or real wood fires, because out here, I mean, any spark will catch and just gone. So that's my PSA. Please don't burn our forests down. I love this planet. It's the only one we have. And on that note, I just thought this was kind of cool. So LumeCube just released this, and I've had it for a little bit. I've been playing with it. And this is their, like I said, the Panel Go RGB. So now you'll notice it has the RGB lights, and this is at 75%. It says it has 9 hours of battery left, and it's been going for like an hour while we've been trying to get this up and running and everything. But it, this is the fire scene setting, so that was kind of cool. But this is a lightning setting, loop, where it just does the colors. I don't think you can't control the speed of the loop though, but it does cycle through the colors, yeah. So then it just has the color mode, and you can change the color manually. So this is all very similar to, I mean, it's almost exactly the same as their Panel Pro, which I have. That's one of the ones behind me lighting me up. And the menus, the system, everything is the same. The USB-C, which I'm very glad moving forward. Like that LumeCube is the LumeCube Air, and that's a USB micro. But ever since then, after that came out, ever since then they've been USB-C, and it's really handy to have the USB-C. So I'm going to put this back on fire just for the ambience, and I will put that back in there somehow. And I just got soot all over me again. So I will be extinguishing this fire properly from whoever left it here before we got here today, apparently, because, I mean, it's still hot. So it must have been last night. They probably lit it last night and then took off. Anyways, this video isn't sponsored in any way, shape, or form by LumeCube. I just thought that I would throw that out there for you guys so you can see kind of, and I do a lot of this kind of stuff with the LumeCubes, and I absolutely love them. Clearly, I have a ton of them. I keep buying more and finding different ways to use them. But Camera Lady and I use them a lot for our astro stuff, and for Brittany uses hers for her stuff like this, her bookstagram stuff, and product photography. And I think the lights are just one of the best things you can have in general for photography accessories. I've always been big on my lights, using them a different way, not just the LumeCube, but I'm just talking about light in general. It's really great to have no matter what you're doing. So on that note, they're launching that. I do believe I have a coupon code. I think I've had it for a long time. I just don't push it, and I probably should. But I think it's Lightbenders Visuals 10. But I'll flash it here and put it down, the link down below. You guys should be able to use that for 10% off, like, anytime, I think. And that should get you like any of their lights. I really am liking the Panel Go. So this that's lighting me right now is the Panel Mini. And that's been kind of my favorite go-to light because it's so small, I can keep it in my pocket. It has 1%, which astrophotographers really care about. And then the Panel Pro, it's a lot bigger, a lot more powerful, obviously. But for doing just like photo stuff, I prefer the smaller lights. And I prefer them to the cubes, although I do like the magnetic bit of the Air. The Air's, that's magnetic, and it's like clipped to my car, so I like that. But the battery life on the Mini and the Go are both really great, and they're like the best compromise for me to keep in my pocket, in my bag all the time, whatever. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. Maybe make another thing of tea before we call it a night, clean this campfire up, and maybe do a couple of astro shots. I'm gonna do like a couple of maybe like product shots, or not product, but you know, just kind of adventure campy type feel good image. So we're gonna see what we can come up with, and I will show you guys. All right, so Future Brent here. I've been editing the video and editing the images, or trying to edit the images. So I wanted to take this opportunity here to showcase some failure and ideas, and I just want to show you. So I mentioned, you know, earlier what I wanted, and I wanted to be out there the night before when the moon was rising a little bit earlier, and I didn't get that, and I knew I wouldn't, but I was still kind of hopeful, and I still wanted to go out anyways, just, you know, to be outside and enjoy. I always tell you guys, I tell myself, I tell everybody, photography is my excuse for getting outside and just enjoying. So, you know, I had a great night regardless, but I want to show you a couple of things. So let's jump into the computer real quick, and I want to go through a couple of these images. All right, so here is the pano that I captured. This is the light that I wanted, and if I would have been there yesterday, this is what it would have looked like. So here's an edited image that I did, and this is obviously a composite. So the moon is right, everything is right, the lighting is right, but this is what it would have looked like if I would have come out there the day before, but there was a bunch of clouds, and so it wouldn't have worked out. But I just wanted to make that clear that, you know, you can do composites like this, and it does look real, and it looks very similar to images that I could have gotten. And, you know, of course, when you do the composite, you can make the moon as big or small or whatever as you want. So I did it as accurately as possible. So this is what I wanted. So, but I do want to go back out there and try again and refine the composition, maybe, you know, in another month or two, and just try it again. The moon will be coming up from a slightly different position every month, so we'll have some opportunity to play there. But I wanted to show you that, just, I don't know why, but I thought it was cool. I like the composite, you know, and if I share it, I will definitely label it as a composite, because, you know, that's just kind of my ethos. But then I'll show you what it actually looks like. So here's this is, I mean, you can see just a complete silhouette. It's super dark. I kind of like this image anyways, as just for fun. You know, I like putting things in front of the moon. That ended up being pretty cool. Nothing spectacular, of course, but I just wanted to show you how dark it was by the time the moon actually came up. And then, you know, you can start to see here from these raw images, if I would have even gotten enough to expose the image, the landscape at all, that's how bright the moon would have just been completely blown out. And you can mess with that, but it's not easy, and it's, to me, it's just not worth it. And this wasn't the composition that I wanted. So if we look here, that was at, yeah, that was at 100 millimeters, and that's just not what I wanted. So I wanted more of this pano, you know, like that. Anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there and kind of show you guys a little bit of behind the scenes, and just, you know, I've said it before and I always say it, it's okay to mess up. It's okay to post less than perfect or less than like print-worthy images or whatever. Like, just keep that mind frame of photography is your excuse to get outside. And I had an amazing time after this, you know, with creating the images that I'll show you in just a minute, the camping images and stuff like that. And I have a really fun time doing that, whether it's for stock photography or in this case for a client or whatever. You know, I had a blast doing those images. So to me, that's just the most important thing. Is I had a great time being out there last night under the stars, around the campfire, playing with photography and lights and, you know, all the cool stuff. So, all right, well, I wrapped it up out there and I filmed a whole other section, but I think I'm just gonna end it here. So if you guys have any questions about anything that I went over regarding the moon stuff or the astro stuff or whatever, leave those in the comments below. And check out the Lume Cube if you want. Like I said, I have the link below for the discount code. It's an amazing little light. I love them. You know, I'm using them in my studio. I use them out there. I use them everywhere. They're really handy to have. So check those out if you need some good lights. And if you stuck around this far, I super appreciate it. Hit that like button for me because that's the best thing you can do for my channel. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.